And we will look into some bug reports that were added recently to after the regression. So I'm looking at the newest, right? The ones that were reported after we had the new build. So you asked me what should be tested during the regression, right? So you definitely have to run the smoke API tests, but they didn't find any new discrepancies, right? So definitely you have to check the new features and bug fixes, right? And important parts of the application, critical. And so Nina, she went to the one of the essential parts, right? Creation of our quizzes. And she was able to find the bug when we enter the title of the quiz. So let's see the video recording here. So you see, we have a different error message that is shown here. So previously, no error message was thrown if we introduced more than maximum number of characters, right? Here we have this new error message that is definitely wrong. So this is a valid bug and it is important. So it is, guys, just for demonstration that such things can happen with real projects, and you definitely have to perform your tasks, right, diligently, so that you will be able to identify those bugs and they do not go into production. Okay, what else did you find, Nina? So this is the maximum number of characters and the wrong error message. Don't you think that this is one and the same error? What do you think? You probably, so it is the same video recording, right? And the same text. So you definitely can combine those two in one. This is one and the same problem. Nina? What is your view?
Yes, I can combine, but I need just to remove one, or how I can do it?
So the wrong error message with the title length exceeds the maximum. So you definitely, you can close one saying that this is a duplication, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you will provide the wrong error message and that, but actually it's one and the same.
Okay.
Okay. And what is the next one? Registration field didn't. Okay, this is Julia's bug, which doesn't have any description. Julia?
I'm sorry, I just started, but then I found that it doesn't, how to say, it's not reproducible. And I wanted to delete it.
So do you want me to delete it?
Yes, yes, please.
Okay, so I can, no. I can do it just from here. Click on this ellipsis and delete. All right, and one more bug belonging to Nina. And this will be navigate to login page, sign in. and then we go to users management, click options, change user group, remove the current users group name, put some text, and then again, it should a different error message. So this error message should be at least 5 to 32 characters. Now belongs to all the input fields, right? Maybe not all the input fields, but to the second one. And it is good if you attach either video recording or at least a screenshot maybe.
Okay, I noticed something else in this part, but I don't know if I need to report because it already didn't accept 10 symbols.
Okay, so we
But
go to users management, and then we go to take any student, right? And then we change the group. And then we enter a certain number of characters.
please enter 7 or 6 and then 7.
Okay, this is 6
Mhm.
and 7.
So it's discrepancy between error message, which says 5 symbols, and here we have 6 accepted.
1 second, one more time. So, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then 7. And it is still disabled.
It enabled at 6, but it didn't match, not with requirement, not with error message.
Dealing with this changing user group, which acts like the name, and definitely it will follow the behavior of the name, right?
Name accept, if I remember it right, two symbols for every for first name and last name.
That's true.
Not 6.
At least 2, you say? At least 1. And then it will be enabled. At least 1, not necessarily 2.
No, 1 plus 1 white space, something like this.
Yeah, 1 white space and then again 1. So it is difficult to work with this change users group because it is a complete discrepancy. It would be nice that they will fix this, right? So that it will display the correct dialogue, right? So that we'll be able to work with the group dialogue, not the user's name. But did you check the change user's name?
Yes, I checked it. I reported one more bug.
So it shows correct behavior, right? But if we add more than a certain number of characters, what error message will be displayed? It's still not.
It's 256.
Okay, if I delete those characters so that it does not display.
It didn't accept one white space as for requirement.
As for requirements. Okay, that's another bug, right? You definitely have to report that as well. So you see, guys, it is really important that you do the regression testing around the basic components, the most important functionalities. Okay. All right, guys. So please look around and try to find more new bugs. Okay. Now let's discuss the results of your exercises, and we will go to this page, sample page, and start sharing your solutions. So the first was to find the list of all the required fields on the page. How many, guys, did you find?
6. I found 5.
And, would you share your findings in the chat?
It was 5, I think, yeah.
Do you mean XPath?
Yeah, would you provide your XPath in the chat? Here in the Slack chat.
Yes. Give me a second. Okay.
Okay, so area required is true, or Julia just required. So how many results did this XPath provide?
In my case, 5.
In my case, 6.
In my case, 11.
All right, so I'm copying and pasting Galina's, and I will add it to XPath. So it returns 11 elements matching. Is it correct?
Let me check.
For me, 11 too.
Okay, so what is meant by all required fields, guys?
Let me check.
With asterisks.
The ones that are noted with asterisks. And we
Oh, yes, it's 11.
Okay, now I'm looking
Yeah.
at Julia's solution, and we will.
Technically, it's 6.
Okay, so Julia's returned 5 elements matching. Now Nina's. Okay, Nina's returns 6 elements matching. Okay, interesting solution. And Arthur input required, it's the same. Label class required, Lesia. Okay, label class required. 5 elements. Okay, so so far Nina's solution returned 6 elements, right? Any other?
But I use the label which return 6.
Okay, one more time. Label.
Yeah, I posted in the chat my solution.
Anna, label area required true. You have
6.
Okay, 6. But is it the field or label?
It should be filled.
It should be filled, and we have to return either input field, right? And if we inspect all those fields, so we will see that it is input, right? This is also input, this is also input, and this one will be also input. So we need to identify all required input fields. Okay, so what do you suggest to do? And if we work with label, right? Then we get those 6 fields. Label area required true returns 6 elements. So can we go from this label and then identify the input fields with expanding those areas on the page using the same approach? it will still be 6 elements, right? But the input field will be included, right? And now we just need to add input as the tag name, and then it returns 5 elements. It may happen, right? Because they may be, in this case, we have just one layer, right? And here we have label with text. Okay, so you remember, guys, that if it does not return you the result that you are looking for with one /, right? If we add one more, then it will be returned. So it means that it will be looking for anywhere on the page for this XPath expression. And here it will also look anywhere on the page, no matter what hierarchy of this element will be provided on the page. You see? So this is very often may happen when you need additional relative indication in your expression.
Alina, excuse me, could you please show us the bottom of this page? I mean, which field it's selected?
Sure.
I have read it. See it.
It selected the input field.
So we should this one, yeah? Is
Yeah,
it correct?
we need to identify all the input fields here.
I was not sure if we have to select this field exactly. Check box field.
Okay, and you see that it is also input field. Okay, good. Now the second, write unique XPath for label country of origin. Okay, so label for country of origin. So you are working with label text equals label contains text country of origin. Dina, if you are using contains text, then you don't have to use the exact string country of origin. You just can put either country or origin. Okay, now let's decide. So label text. So we have either label will be our tag name, right? Okay, let me label equals text country of origin, and we can probably change it for the wildcard, and still it will be searchable. So we definitely need to use the best approach, and using text will be the last resource. So if our primary choice, right, when we are working with XPath expression will be, of course, ID, name, class, or any other attributes that will be presented, right? And the text will be the last one. So what attributes do we have here that we can use?
For country of origin,
For
class.
Origin. We don't have any class.
We don't have class, yeah.
we can use the for attribute. And the country of origin will be the value. Probably this will be the right solution. Okay. The next exercise is to find the XPath for the field confirm password using two attributes. And the first attribute will be your choice and the second disabled. Okay. Input, ID, confirm password, and disabled. Correct. Okay. And it shows this one, right? So disabled. So if we provide any inputs here and try to run this one more time. It will be 0 elements matching now, right? Because here we don't see this disabled attribute anymore. And if we clear, then it will be returned. All right, the next one, find unique XPath for option Toyota in select list. Select name, car, make. Okay. Option, value, Toyota. Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. So the most complete one, right, is the one that Anna shared. It's not select. Car make. Option value. Toyota. Okay, let's try to do this again. Select. Okay. Name, car, make. And then option. Value equals Toyota. Very good, but it will also be searchable without indication of the select element as well. But you always have to check it out, right? So that this expression will return only one element that exists on the page. All right, the next one, find unique XPath option for Canada. It will be the same, right? Select and G model for data form country of origin. And G data model. I would say MG model is not a good one, right? Name will be our choice here. So you remember, you start with ID, which is #1 preference, then name, class, and then the rest of the attributes. And with the class, guys, you see, when we have this class attribute, in most cases, the class may have some spaces in the value, right? It is not recommended to use this. So if you don't have anything but class, then you probably have to use the contains expression, contains function, so that you will select from this class the most meaningful part that will uniquely identify the class. Okay, so tayo country of origin, Canada. Okay, select name country of origin, which is good. And probably option value Canada. What about this one? Will it be searchable? Still working. Okay, now unique XPath for radio button female by 2 attributes. Name, gender, and value female, correct. Okay, so this one is fine. This is input. And we probably can use this wildcard and still be searchable. Unique XPath for label phone number, and then go down to the input field. Using XPath, you wrote for the label as an anchor. Okay, Nina used these siblings, and Camila also used siblings, which is fine, but I prefer to be using simple things. So we first start with the phone, right? And it will be label, right? Label with 4 that equals phone. Okay, so this is our phone number. And then we expand the search area. And then we just can use the input as the tag name. And then this input field will be highlighted. Okay, application date value and label. Okay, for the label, it is current date, right? Application, current date. And we can just add it there. And then from this current date value to navigate to the label, to the text date that is displayed. Anyone? I don't see the answers yet. Okay, which it does not return everything, right? If we add just the 2 dots, it will expand, but we need the name of the tag here, which is, what is the tag name for date? This is the tag name, right? So we just add the tag name and it will be highlighted. Okay, what is the next question? Click input name and find XPath expressions for first, last, and middle names, and after 4 save and cancel buttons. Are you going? Okay, Camila, input name first, input name middle, input name last, span text, save, span text, cancel. Okay, let's do it. So we click here and then we inspect the first and we have input name or ID, right? ID will be probably the better option. Input ID first name, same for the middle name, same for the last name, right? And what about the save and cancel? Okay, we have nothing here. We have UI button text. Okay, let's do it. Span with class. Span class that equals UI button text. There we have 3 elements matching, right? So we can either add the text of this, or we can just use just contains text or equals text. So of course, span with text that equals, if we have short text on the button, we definitely will use this short text. Same for cancel button as well. Any questions, guys? Good. Now the next assignment is to find unique XPath for privacy policy acceptance by text. Span contains text. I have read and accept privacy policy. Unique XPath for privacy policy. And you went again, okay, to the label, Anna. Why? And again, you see what you have here. You have span contain text. I have read and accept privacy policy and label. Okay, let me cancel this one. And this will be our, I have read, where is this? This one, must check. Okay, let me refresh. And again, label. One element matching. So you expanded this. but we probably need this element of acceptance, right? So why should you use the entire string if you have contains? So you either have this equal sign, and then it will be the entire string, or you can make it just privacy policy, and it still be searchable.
Galina?
Yep.
Why do we add label at the end? If we don't add label at the end, it would work still, no?
We need this label. We just need this element.
It
Yeah.
doesn't show the text box, the checkbox otherwise, just the label. I have read and accept privacy policy.
XPath for privacy policy acceptance. Okay, so it definitely does not show you which it should be. It should be either label, or we definitely need to be working with the input. Because in most cases, right, you need to check this input when you are writing your scripts. You definitely not need the label, right? You definitely need to click on this input field. Therefore, in most cases, you will be dealing with actual input fields, buttons, radio buttons, checkboxes, and so on and so forth. Different elements, their labels. The label we may need going from the label to this input field. Yes?
So I added this label because in the image, which is attached in our Word document, it shows the frame which included in this check box. This is the reason why I added this label.
That's good. Then it is correct. Okay. Perfect. So you did this.
Agree.
I totally agree. All right.
That's smart.
That's smart, yes. Okay, we have two more. Find unique XPath for related documents button by partial text. Okay, button contains text related. Good. It can be either button, or it can be just the asterisk, and it still be searchable. Good. And the final one, type 2 characters into field password. Find unique XPath by text. Please enter at least 5 characters. So we need, in this case, we need the label, right? Label that has equal text. Please enter at least 5 characters. Good. I agree. Any other opinions, guys? Contains text, please. Oh, okay, maybe please is not a good one, right? You would at least 5 characters or something. I would make more meaningful text of this label. But we will later be verifying the text of the labels, right? Therefore, probably the entire labeled text has to be verified, and I would agree that we will use the exact match of this string. So text equals, please enter at least 5 characters, including the dots. All right, good job, guys. So if you wish, I can post my version of those solutions, right? Answers to those exercises in our resources or in homework. Where would you like me to post it?
Galina, can I ask you, could you please explain maybe more about the slashes and 2 dots? So it goes not only one level up, it goes it can go levels down and up anyway, any direction.
Using this slash and double dots, right? We expand the area, and it can cover both up and down. So in this case, we don't have to identify the hierarchy of the relationship. It can be sibling, it can be parent, it can be child. We don't care about this. So this will allow us to expand the area of selection, right? And it makes our life easier.
Thank you.
And you see the area is highlighted. It includes the element that you need to communicate with, to interact with, right? And then you put the final single slash, right? Or it may be double slash, like I did with this. I have agreed and accepted the policy, right? And then you just indicate the tag name, and then the element will be selected. Okay, guys.
Can you please share your answers and resources?
I will, sure.
Thank you.
I will share all the answers. And before we start working with GitHub, I will also share with you guys my solutions for search engine exercises, Cucumber exercises, Java exercises, and other exercises in resources. And then we will start working with Git and share our code in remote repository. All right.
Thank you.
So today we are going to start working with our framework. And we need to clone our project. So I hope, guys, that you were able to do it already. Let me navigate to this remote repository where I keep this project. This is the project repository. This is the URL for this. And in order to be able to clone this project, I need to click on this code button, use this copied icon, and I will add it to IntelliJ. So here, if you guys have your current or previous projects showing up, you need to close them, and then you will get your window for creating a new project, importing or getting from version control. So when I click on get from version control, my version of IntelliJ is kind of outdated, right? I have a different UI of this screen. You had something here, 3 options on the right top corner. But if you click on get from version control, you will have this dialog. And I will enter this URL here in the URL field. And by default, guys, you have your users and idea projects. I will have to select the project that I have created for us, and I will clone this project. And you see that it is receiving objects from the repository, and it will processing, right? Here we have, I will close this window, and here I will get this new project opened in my IntelliJ. Okay, now let's discuss the our framework technology stack. So this is a possible interview question. What is your technology stack? So you see that our framework includes IntelliJ IDE as our integrated development environment that we will be using similarly to Word for creating documents, right? So it allows to write our script, and it also allows to run different automated scenarios in different modes, and I will show you the ways of running those scenarios. We are using Java as our programming language, and for using this programming language, we downloaded and installed Java Development Kit, which is extended by additional libraries. We will be using Cucumber library, and you remember that you had to add the Cucumber plugin in IntelliJ. We will be using Selenium WebDriver libraries. We will be using AssertJ library for providing assertions in our tests. And it is also our technology stack includes our project management tool, which is called Maven. So if the project is using Java, so by default it will be using Maven, or if it is using so now let's go to our project structure, and here any Java project will have SRC at the root level, then main and test folders, and in main folder usually application code is contained, and in test folder we are going to keep all the files, Java classes and other resources that we are going to be using for our tests. So here we don't have anything in our main folder, but in test we have Java package and resources folder, which has the features. So you also see that at the root level we have project file which is called pom.xml, and this is the file in XML format that contains information about the project and configuration details that is used by Maven to build the projects. As I said, there are two popular project management tools, Maven and Gradle. Maven is used for Java projects and Gradle for Groovy language. This is the extension of Java. So pom.xml contains information about the project, how it is named, what is the family of it. So we have the group ID of our project, artifact ID, Java WebDriver, Cucumber, and the version of it. And it also indicates different plugins that are used by this project. Some versions of libraries, what libraries we're going to use. So this is Java indication that we're using Java 11. Maven 0.3. And then we have JUnit library, TestNG library, Selenium, several libraries related with Selenium. Okay, what else? Cucumber. So they are all included into dependencies. Okay, so you normally don't touch POM files. So all the configuration is done by senior automation engineers. You can add a certain library or maybe change the version of it. So you see under the project structure here, you have this external libraries. A lot of software that has been imported by Maven automatically based on this configuration. And all those libraries will be needed for our project, and they were taken care by Maven. This is the benefit. You say what you need in the format of pom.xml file, and when you clone this project, right, it will get for you automatically, and you had to wait until all the indexes will be provided and all the dependencies will be created. Okay, any questions about this?
I have a question, Galina.
Yes.
In external libraries, you have JDK 15. Should we have JDK 15 or we will use 11?
I think we're going to be using 11, right? And you downloaded this 11, and yesterday we configured our dependencies in the project structure. So here, if you click on File, Project Structure, here I have 15, but I can select 11, right? I just downloaded this from the remote repository, and I can configure this one, right? In the project in SDK. So now I have 11 and 15. And what else? In the modules. So, okay, and I click OK. And now I have updated my project structure. All right, so we also have this git ignore file, which is a plain text file where every line contains the pattern for files or directories to be ignored when we're going to check our code into the GitHub. Okay, now let's have a look into our project structure here. And we have in Java subfolder or Java package, we have definitions, and we have support. So definitions or step definitions is the executable code for Cucumber steps that are written in Java. And here we have only one file so far. So those steps can be reused over and over again once they have been written. So every step in Cucumber scenario has Java code under it. At this point, we're not going to look into this code. We will be just reusing this code. Okay. Now let's look into the support folder, which has 3 files. Hooks. So hooks has 2 functions here. Before functions, the method public void scenario star. This is the Cucumber hook, which is executed every time you start the scenario, and it will initialize the WebDriver, and it will clean all the cookies. And after hook gets executed after the end of every scenario. So, and if the test fails, the screenshot will be taken and embedded into your report, Cucumber report. And after, it will close the browser, and the function for that is tear down. Okay, the next important file is the test context. This is a big class that we use for browser initialization. So this is a place where we will keep the information belonging to the test, and this class and its functions will be accessible across multiple scenarios. Here we initialize the WebDriver. This file can have different names in different frameworks. Instead of text content, it can be called browser. So it can only initialize the browser and close the browser. And again, you don't have to touch this file. It is kind of the baseline of our framework. So here we have initialize method to initialize the browser. And here we have several options, several cases. So in case with Chrome, right, it will create a bunch of options and will create an instance of Chrome driver with those options and different configurations. It will enable upgrades, defined where it would download the files. It will maximize the driver when start, and so on and so forth. So we also have another options, another cases, Firefox, Safari, Edge, IE. So, and every browser may have different settings that will be specified in this file. So this is not a very complicated configuration that was offered to us by Slava Skrebin. He is the author of this framework. But using this, you will be able to perform basic testing functions. Okay, but in real life, right, you don't have to do it manually yourself. So the entire framework that is used by the group of test automation engineers will be taken care of the architects who initially will set up this framework for the entire team. And you will be able to use it. Okay, so in our case, this configuration is a part of the framework that we cloned from GitHub. Okay, you also see here the WebDriver Manager. This function allows us to automatically download the driver's binary file for the web applications. So you know that all the browsers from Firefox, Safari, Edge, they have the corresponding browser driver using the executable file. And in order to be able to work with the application or use the framework here, you need to download and use the appropriate executable binary file. And we used it. We had to work with it beforehand. But this WebDriver Manager that was recently introduced into our framework allows the system to perform this work automatically. So we don't have to download the latest browser version executable file. Any questions about this? Okay. Okay, what is headless? So we also can have the HTML unit, which is headless, right? Which allows to use Java code to automate basic functions, basic operations. And interact with the website, but it is not the real interaction, right? It is just the functions, simulation of the functions. You definitely have to actually communicate with the application to be able to click, to enter text, and so on. Okay. Any questions about this file, guys? And again, you probably will never have to touch this file in the workplace.
Galina, can I ask what browser is going to be applied by this file?
You see here, we initialize the browser. So we have the many options, but with this initialize, we put browser Chrome, environment local, and headless is false. So it will not be using this HTML unit, right? It will be working as a real browser.
So it will use only Chrome, or I see Firefox and.
If I put here Firefox, then it will be using Firefox. If I use other case, it will be opening different browser. But let's work with Chrome so far.
Oh, so it depends on the line 34, yes?
Depends on which you are going to initialize. This is our function where we initializing our tests, our browser.
Thank you.
Okay, and we also have this test runner file, class rather, that helps you to run scenarios and generate the reports in Cucumber format. So here we can, this plugin, right? We can configure our files in pretty format, and it will be generated and stored in the folder that we indicated here. Okay, then we have this glue part, part of Cucumber options that describes the location and the path in the step definition file. This is how you connect the steps and the code, the Java code for implementation of our scenario. So definitions and support. Definitions and support. And we also have tags here that will be needed to specify which of the scenarios you would like to run when you will be creating test automation jobs in Jenkins. But we are going to speak about this in more detail when we start to work with the real scenarios. So far, any questions about the project structure, guys? All right, and we have this resources and features. Okay, so in features, we have the predefined .feature file. This is the extension of our file. And if we open this, we see our scenario. Okay, so it contains the one scenario, or it can contain many scenarios. Today, guys, while we are going to be working on the exercises, you see that here we have XPath expressions included into the scenario steps. This is not how it happens in real life. Your scenarios will never contain the XPath in the steps. But this is our intermediate step, our intermediate stage. Before you feel comfortable writing your XPath expressions and writing your own Java code where you will put your identified XPath expressions. So for that purpose, we are going to be using those predefined step definitions, right? And for a couple of days, guys, we are going to be using those predefined steps and practice with identifying correct XPath expression, and we will put them inside our steps. Okay. All right. So now I can run my scenario. Let me run it. So in order to be able to run this scenario, I use the right key of my mouse, and I will click on Run Scenario Predefined Steps for Google, and I wait until it will be built, parsing Java code, scanning, right? And then here in the this part of the reports, right, I see that the tests are running, the browser will be open, all the activities that are programmed here completed, and I see here in my test results all the steps with green check marks. So if something is not working as expected, you will get different notification that the step has failed. So in order to be able to see all the steps, this is more convenient. You have to click on this check mark. And if you haven't done so yet, then please do it. And here we get our results, right? Testing started at certain time, the location of this file, some warnings. We don't have to pay attention to this, right? And then the results. 1 scenario passed, 7 steps passed, and the process finished with exit code 0. So this is what we are looking at. You may have some error messages here. They will be identified, and you don't have to be afraid of getting those error messages. You just need to attentively go through all those error messages and identify. It will help you to identify where it locates, right? It will sometimes indicate the exact number of the line in your file, and you will be able to go to that line and to see where you need to do some corrections in your script. Okay, so this how I run my file. I right click and run, and this is called the sandbox run. There is another way of running this file, which is called the through test runner. And if I open this one again, I will run this with the test runner. And you see, every time I'm running this file, a new folder is being generated here. Target folder with some classes, generated sources, test classes. So I can delete this folder, delete this one. And next time I will be running this scenario again, it will be generated again. So when I run it through sandbox run from predefined step feature file, right? It does not generate me a report. If I run it through test runner here, run test runner, you see it also opens the browser. Okay, but it shows all the steps here, not here in the run report here, but here. It also shows the number of scenarios passed here, and the process finished with exit code 0, which is correct. But here in my target folder now, I have this cucumber folder. All the rest of the folders, right, that were created previously, plus this cucumber. And if I right click on this index HTML, I will be able to open it. And the report will be shown here. All the steps, and they are marked with green color. So my tests are all green. What if I change something in my report here? For example, I will change this XPath expression and run it one more time through test runner. Here we have the failure test now, you see, and we definitely need to go to this. This is kind of brownish color, right? And the error is bright red. So, and the step, which is failing, right, is shown in red color. And the error stack shows that there is no such element. We are unable to locate the element with this XPath expression. Then we have to go to the step and correct the XPath expression. We can check it out whether this XPath is correctly written. And here in the target folder and cucumber, I will open it again in the browser. And you see the same error description, and the screenshot is taken at the place, right, on the page where it happened. Okay.
Galina, and could you please repeat again how this folder cucumber appeared in your files?
Okay, so every time we run our scenarios, no matter we use this inside the scenario, which is called sandbox run, or we run it from test runner, right? The target folder is created. Okay, and with every run, the new target folder will be created, the new information in the target. And here with test runner, we will get this cucumber folder. If we run it with, delete again, if we run it with sandbox run, this is called,
And if I don't have cucumber folder appearing,
there will be no cucumber folder. And then we will not be able to open it in the browser. Okay, and here we have this error message. Again, you see it is identified, right, with this cross. And we can go click on this and we can see that there is no such element exception. And our Selenium WebDriver was not able to locate the element with this input field. So we can copy and paste this in the browser, right? In the actual browser. And new browser, google.com. And if we inspect it, okay, I don't have it in incognito. Okay, here then, it is not identified, right? We definitely have to check it out. And it is our button search, right? Which is it our search button? I click on element, input name, button, key. Okay. No, not this one. Button key.
I see here's the name and up, little bit up.
One more time, button search, button key. You see, so definitely need to check it out, right? That's wrong.
You haven't copied the XPath completely, Galina. You've missed out the opening parenthesis.
Ah, that's true. Okay, and now it will be located.
No, the parenthesis will come after the 2 slashes. The opening one.
This one.
Yeah, the opening one. I think that's the way it is in the code. In the
now it is found. You see.
Okay.
Okay, so this is how you have to work with those error, and that is called error stack. You go through this one, and this blue line, if you click on this, it will navigate you to the Java code with this specific step. Get driver, find element by this XPath. So it will be important when we start working with Java code. So you definitely, so far, you need to identify this first part. If you don't find any element, then you can see this one. Sometimes if you provide the incorrect syntax for XPath, it will tell you that it is not correct. Let me change it again. For example, input. Okay, you see, I modified this one, this text, and I am getting this blue notification that I changed my code. If I click on this and redo it, then it will be corrected. So you can either use this one, identify this blue line here on the part where you get the line numbering, or you can do Control Z until you return to the previous variant of your code. So if you make any mistakes, right, you will be able to see this blue line, or you will be able to undo. Okay, so for example, I want to make incorrect syntax here and run it one more time. And now we get this message, unable to locate an element because of the following error, syntax error. So sometimes it is clever enough to say that this is not a valid XPath expression. Okay, and then you can go and to see some documentation on that. And again, I will be able to restore my previous version. Any questions, guys?
About these folders, will they be created, the new ones, or they will be changed?
They will be updated.
Update.
So far, you don't have to worry about this. So every time we run it, the new target folder will be created. But we will need it only when we run it through the test runner, right? So you have to be looking for the results here in our test results. And you need to attentively review the error messages that will be provided here in this part of this test result. Now let's look into our scenario. So you see, we have the scenario written in simple English sentences. And this is the Cucumber advantage. We use the plain English language to execute Java. So it's kind of another way to document our code and test cases. Sometimes similar to bullet format, right? And you see that in blue, we have the keywords indicated in dark blue, right? And we have the light blue, the variables. So we can change the values here of our variables. We can change the URL, right? We can change the title, and we definitely can change the values of our XPath expressions. So this part of our scenarios steps are used as our variables. So what shall we do with this scenario, guys? We go to Google page, right? And we verify the page title. We open the URL at this page. We see the page opened. And in the scenario step, we verify that the page title is equal to Google. All right, then we see that the element, this input field for search text is present. So this element present step is optional because while you type, it may already be being present, right? But if you start typing in this input field, it may, and if it is not present yet, due to the difference in page loading, right? Your internet speed, so it may be different, right? So if it is not present while you start typing in your script, the test will fail. Therefore, we use this element with XPath should be present. Then we provide some text here, behavior-driven development. And we click on this button. Okay, and Google search button is a good example of using this text as with index, right? So we have two buttons here. If I delete this, we will see that we have two buttons here. Google search here, and one more time. 1 and 2. So therefore it is good to use the index in this case. Okay, when we click on this button, we are moved to the results page. And again, we added the step I wait for the element with this result to be present. So we need to make sure that it is fully displayed. And we identify the results page here that will contain the text cucumber. So how do we identify this results page, guys? We need to first identify the word that we are looking for, right? Or the element that we are looking for. So in our scenario, we are looking for the word cucumber. And we see that we have several instances of this element displayed, and then we need to locate this element here, which is H3 class. But then we need to go several levels up so that we will identify this one, ID results, right? So this is the div element, which contains this class and ID. So of course, our preference will be working with attribute ID. So it will be div that has attribute ID equals result res. And we have only one element that matches this expression, and it highlights, right, the entire area, that including our word cucumber. One more time. So we can use it, and we will be getting text, the entire text for this element, and then we will verify that our word cucumber is contained in that text. Okay, so and then the element should contain our text. This is how this scenario is working. Any questions? All right. So as I said, we have our predefined step definitions here.
Galina.
Yes.
Galina, I have a quick question. If I'm looking at my IntelliJ and it it has where I am supposed to run the scenario. It says got a little exclamation, red exclamation sign. What might that mean?
Can I take a look at this?
Absolutely. In a second. Okay. Now, this one.
Scenario predefined. Okay.
So, and when I'm trying to run the scenario.
Okay. So can you
Lord.
you undo, because you converted the scenario into scenario outline. Can you click on this blue line, click and use to redo it. And right click here now inside this, right click inside the scenario. Right click and run scenario predefined steps. Scroll down and run scenario. And what's wrong with this? Null exceptions, create breakpoint. Scenario predefined. Now, you didn't clone my project. I see that you're working with the previous project.
Gotcha. Okay, I'll correct that.
Would you stay after we finish, and I will help you to configure your project.
Will do.
New project.
Thank you. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry for taking up time.
All right. So where did I stop? Okay. Here. So we need to those predefined steps.
We don't see your screen, Galina.
Okay, thank you. 1 second. Those predefined steps that Slovak has created for us, they have those code or functions that are using navigation steps, alert, progress, click on elements, input steps, steps for assertions, and screenshots. So here we have navigation steps. Today we mostly will be working with them. Given I open URL, right? Given I resize window, maximize window. So in our scenarios, we will be using I navigate, I open to URL. Then we have progress steps, right? I wait for 3 seconds, or I wait for elements to be present. So sometimes you need to stop the execution, the running of your test, because it is too quick, right? And you want to stop it for debugging purposes, and then you will add the step when I wait for 3 seconds or for 2 seconds or whatever. You can change the number because this is the variable. You can change the number of seconds. Then you can click on certain elements, right? Or you can click with JavaScript click. So you can use just simple click or JavaScript click. So sometimes it may happen that your window is not showing the entire screen, and your button or element where you want to interact, which you want to interact with, will be closed, will be out of the page, right? Or it can be closed by sticky footer or sticky header. It is not seen to the Selenium WebDriver, but it is still present on the page. And in this case, it will be possible to click on it with the JavaScript click. And we have this step here. We click on element using JavaScript click. All right, what else do we have here? We have input steps. When I type some text right into the element, having this XPath expression, or you can clear this element. Okay, and of course we have some assertion steps. You can see the page title with exact text, right? In our case with Google, it is short enough so that we use the exact match. Or we can use this page title contains, and in different engines that I'm going to ask you guys to do the same thing, right? To work with those search engines. It may be very long, and in this case you will use this title contains, and then you can make it shorter, just part of it. Then element should be present or should be displayed, right? Should be enabled or should not be present, should not be displayed, or should be disabled. So this will be your assertion steps, that all those steps have been already defined, right? And once they have been written and saved in our predefined steps here, they can be reused throughout all your feature files, throughout all your scenarios and throughout your full steps. Any questions? Okay, let's do some practice, and you will have to open your predefined feature, and I will close all other files here, right click and close others. Okay, and here I can see the page project structure, and I will see just one field for a predefined feature. Good. So you see we have our feature keyword and the name of our feature, smoke steps, it says, right? And we have the tags. I already told you guys that we use tags, and they are cucumber tags that are needed for running our scenarios through Test Runner or through Jenkins. Because when we are working with the sandbox run, you see, it will be running by the scenario name. Therefore, every scenario name should be unique. There should be no duplications, because if you, for example, copy and paste your previous scenario and you don't change the scenario name, when you want to run only one scenario, both will be run, because the framework will be running by scenario name. But let's develop our good habit of creating individual tags for every scenario, because we eventually will be working with tag names. Okay, so I will create scenario predefined 2. And I will give a different scenario name. So I start typing capital letter S, and I have several options, and I can use tab key to complete this one, and it will be indented properly So therefore, guys, I encourage you to use this using tab to complete your text so that you don't make any mistakes. Because if you add additional space here, your scenario will not be parsed properly and you will get a lot of error messages. So please use this tab to complete, or you will be able to use the key to select the proper option one more time. So you can use capital letter S, right? And you will be able to either select this one or use tab key, and it will be properly indented. Okay, so it will be scenario for Bing. Okay, let's do Bing. Predefined steps for Bing. Okay, and then I start typing the first keyword, and again, given, and I can complete this. I open, so all the available, already created steps that have been supported by Java code will be shown here in the drop-down list, and you just need to select the appropriate one. So again, I can use this one, and instead of the string in angular brackets, I will add the URL for Bing. So I will go to Bing, open this site, and then I will just copy and paste the URL here inside the double quotes. Okay. All right. You see, the line here is also indicated, but it is green. It means that this is the new code that I added to my already existing file. This one was blue. It means that I changed the one that I cloned from the remote repository. Okay, so now I can add the progress step here, and I wait for 2 seconds so that I will be able to see that not only the results of my test execution, but it will stop for 2 seconds before it will provide the results. And again, right click to run the scenario, predefined steps for Bing. Okay, so good. Our tests passed with successful results, and we had only 2 steps so far. So guys, you definitely could copy and paste everything, right? But I, again, strongly encourage you to practice with writing this code, using the tab key or completing this, selecting the appropriate option, selecting the appropriate step definition that already been created. Okay, now I need to see the page title as Google. Then I should see, okay, I will select this one, and I open my browser here, and I see the page title. It is indicated here, or I can inspect my page, go to head, and find the title here. If it is too long here, right, I again will use Control F and find the title. Okay. Oh, title 1. Okay. Title Bing, right? So in the head, I will copy and add it to my script. Good. Now I need to identify this input field and find the expression for that. So what will be your choice, guys? What will be your choice?
Class.
ID.
ID. Okay, so I will go to XPath, and it is already identified here, so I will copy this and add it to my script. Typing then element with XPath should be present. Okay, and I will add this XPath expression to my script. Okay, then so you see, given is kind of the precondition, right, of my scenario. Then is indicating the result. When shows the action, and the end, right, will be this indication of similar action. When is the action, and end will be used to indicate another action. Okay, so when I type, okay, and I see that I have only one type action here, and I will be typing this into this element with this XPath expression. And again, I will be working with behavior-driven development. So I will add this one here. Okay, now let's test this one. And again, I want to stop the execution to see that the text was input in my field. Okay, I can also try to change the input to this asterisk. Okay, once I run my scenario for the first time, I will be able to use this arrow, green arrow, for rerun of my scenario. You see, rerun my scenario. Okay. Okay, so the text has been added to my input field. Okay, now what? We need to click on the element. What are we going to click here? Okay, so probably it will be this this element. What is this? We don't have anything but this one, right? View box. Okay. What about this one? Image. Roll button. SBI. We definitely need to click on the button, right? Roll button. Label. Select using an image. All right, so let's try to use this ID SBI. This is div. And this is search the web. What is this one? SVG view box. I don't like this one. I like this one better. All right, so what about this one? ID SB form go, type submit, search name search. This is what we need. Name search. Okay. Let's do it. Name search. Type submit. Okay, let's try. When I click. I don't like this then I click, right? When I click. When I click on element with XPath. Let's try without this JavaScript click. Okay, let's run it one more time. No, it didn't work. Okay, let's identify another. Okay. This one. And run this one again. Okay, where is this button then? What do we have to click on? Cucumber. Cucumber. Okay, this one, this image. Going back. SVG view box. None. Stroke.
Kalina, what if you use the label?
The label
Yes, this label.
ID search icon. We did it, already did it. The label.
Yeah, but it is clickable and it shows the result.
Okay, let's try it. Label as B form go. Okay. Label ID form as B form go.
No, you picked the wrong ID.
Why?
No, you are picking the ID from input, but you should pick the search icon ID.
Search icon ID. This one? Or this
No, yeah, this one, but you are picking the ID of input. You should be doing ID from label.
I don't see it. This one?
Yeah, it's not ID. ID is right one. Yeah, this is.
I think I did it already. Search icon. Okay, let's try it. Okay. Yay. Okay. Now we need to go to our results page. So you see, guys, it is sometimes very difficult to identify the proper XPath expression for the elements on the page. And it is even more difficult to identify the results element, right? So that will completely include the text that you are looking for. And it requires patience, right? And your hands-on experience with this. Good. So let's add our text here, behavior-driven development. And it worked without JavaScript. Click. Now we will have to look for the cucumber text. And again, I will use Control F and cucumber. Okay, we have two instances of cucumber. Cucumber here and cucumber in the left part. Right, let's look into this element. Cucumber testing framework. Okay, div content. So you see, we can go from here and it includes into this div class BRS and it is shown here. But probably it is not the complete result. We want the bigger area, right? So this search result, main area, label, or this div b content, div id b content. I think it is good. Div id b content. Let's copy this one and add it to our script. And it will be with then keyword. I wait for the element with XPath to be present. And finally, we do this assertion, then element with XPath should contain text cucumber. Okay, and again I can run it through this. For some reason it doesn't write anything here. I wait for the element with
You misspelled cucumber.
Cucumber here, okay, but it didn't find the element, and it didn't it didn't input. See, we were waiting for the text to be input. Okay, now it is good. For the first time, it didn't input the text, and therefore it didn't find the result. Of course, if I make the mistake here with cucumber, it will never find the text. You definitely have to use the correct spelling. Thank you, Aslanbek, for your help. Okay, guys, does it work for you? Did you follow me, or I will give you some time to practice?
Galina, and we should follow you in the same space, yes?
Of course, I mean, what do you mean in the same space?
In Ask project.
Of course, you are using this Java WebDriver Cucumber. Ask Java WebDriver Cucumber.
Okay, thank you.
Would you like to share so that we can do it together?
Yes, of course, I can share my screen. 1 second.
I will stop sharing.
1 second, because I'm using 2 devices. Can you see my screen? Yes, I started this scenario.
Okay.
And now should I do absolutely the same? Yes.
Okay, you find or you input, right? You start typing. When I type, okay, and then you will be able to select this. And instead of the string, you will put the text that you're looking for.
Yes, maybe I will do it by myself because I'm very slow.
Okay, guys, we have a lot of time, right? So this is all we have to do. Our goal is to practice. And then you will be working with your individual tasks that will have different 10 search engines that you will have to write the same steps. So this is our goal, that you know how to use the scenario, right? How to modify the scenario according to different search engines and different XPath expressions and different text that you need to find. So please go ahead. So you need to find the Actually, you will just need to put the text that you're looking for. You can copy and paste behavior-driven development.
This text, yes, the same. Mhm.
Okay, you don't need the angular brackets, and the same input, right? ID SB form Q, you can copy and paste it there as well. Okay, and now add one more step, and I wait for 2 minutes so that we can stop the execution and see that this text has been typed into this input field. Type, and I wait. For 2 seconds. Instead of number, you put 2. And run it. Right click inside the scenario. Right click.
Here?
Okay, or you can run this scenario. Okay. Good.
Thank you.
Now we need to click on the button. Let's define the button. I would say when I click on the button.
When?
I click, not necessarily with the button, with the JavaScript, just click on the element with the XPath string, the first one, okay? And identify the element. I have a hard time of identifying it. Now you do.
May do it later because I'm really very slow.
Okay. Who is willing? Okay, let's do one more.
Can I ask you a question?
Maybe someone will do another browser, say Yahoo. Let's do Yahoo together. Okay, Aslanbek, would you like to share your screen?
Yeah, sure.
And we will do Yahoo.
Galina, can I ask you a short question? If I click on run instead of rerun, how to fix it?
You can run or rerun, it doesn't matter. Okay, so it will be predefined scenario 3, right?
Yep.
Okay, I should see page title as okay, it has long, therefore we probably can use the I should see page title contains, right?
Yep. Just a minute.
Page title contains string. Just Yahoo. And delete this line 29. Good. Should be present. Okay. And open crop paths, and it will probably be readily provided, which is good. Copy and add it to your. Okay. And then you type the text in there when I type. And add some wait time so that we can see that it was typed there.
Nothing is typed. Oh,
Okay, good. And then you need to click on this button. And you have already this wait time, right?
no, I'm waiting for the element to be present.
Okay, then you need to go to that page and identify which one will be there.
Yeah.
No. Okay, good. And where is our cucumber? Are you sure that this is the one that we need?
Pretty sure. This one.
I would say that div ID results is much better than
What?
if you go a couple levels up, you see, in this div
This one?
results, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, so your homework will be doing the same for the other engines that I offered to you. Okay. So let me show your on our board. We have automate search for different search engines. Here we have scenarios for Gibiru, DuckDuckGo, SwissCow, Searching Script, Start Page, Yandex, Ecosia, Wiki, GiveWater, and Echo. So you will probably repeat the same steps, right? But you will have to change the XPath expressions for the input fields, for search buttons, right? And of course for the results. And in some cases, it's not an easy task. You will have to spend some time to make your test automation script running. So you have to be patient. And in some case, for example, in Wiki, guys, you may get some problems with identifying the search results on the page, because it will have the iframe embedded into this. We will look into this in more detail when we start working with Cucumber syntax, Gherkin syntax, right? So if you don't identify the proper XPath or steps with this, just leave it until we will do it together in the class. Or you may have some problems with clicking on the page because it will be covered by the pop-up window. So in this case, you definitely will be using the JavaScript click. You can either click on that pop-up to close it, but it may come and go, right? So it is better to use the JavaScript click in this case if you have any pop-up windows or some other elements that will be covering your click button. Okay? So this will be your homework. And again, you will copy and paste your predefined feature, right? With new steps that you will create, new scenarios. Copy and paste it, save it as a Word document, and attach to the ticket and move it into ready for you. Okay. All right, guys, this is all I have to share with you today. So is your homework clear?
Galina, I have a question about this automation.
Yes.
Is it possible to, for example, in API, we were dealing with database to get the access to activation code. For automation, is it possible to do something like this?
To work with the database?
Yes.
Yes, of course. But if you want to automate the API, right, you will have to use another library. And it is a REST assured library that is compatible with Java. But this is out of scope of our internship project, guys. If you are interested and you are focused on developing your test automation skills, I strongly recommend to enroll into the Silver Bootcamp with Slava Skrapin. And I gave you the first 5 classes, first 5 lectures of that course, and it has 20 sessions. And it will give you all necessary knowledge that you will need to be considered for the junior test automation engineer. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Galina, so this Silver Bootcamp thing you're talking about, these are the videos that are in our resources page, right?
Yes.
Are they related? I mean, is that same content going to be covered in the program?
That's true. So the first five recordings, right, we will be using as necessary information to do your first steps. So mastering those five, right, will be enough to automate our manual test cases. If you need more advanced knowledge, you definitely need to enroll into this course and attend 20 sessions.
So it's a total of 25 sessions, but in our course, we've completed 5. No,
20 sessions. So this course is scheduled for 10 weeks, 2 sessions, 2 learning sessions every week.
And it'll include the 5 video, I mean, the content of those videos in those 20 sessions. It'll be there in there. Okay.
Right.
Galina, should we save this somehow?
No, you definitely have this file and save all, right? But IntelliJ automatically saves all your changes.
It's already saved.
Any more questions?
Galina, I have a problem with my XPath. I reduce and change and I get the error and cannot figure out by myself.
Okay, would you share?
Yes. So the error is here. And I checked it and it should I rerun again?
Yeah, try to rerun and we will see where it fails. But I don't see your browser.
Because it is in the second screen.
And I don't know where it fails, okay? So it doesn't type this behavior-driven development into the element page.
You know, I delete this part and without this part works. When I cut this one.
And again, I don't see your screen. I didn't see your screen.
Oh, because it is my second screen.
So did it type it there?
Yes.
But it is not the one that was done during the test.
One more time. Oh, it's type and then it's closed.
Okay, so now add one more step.
All right, this one.
I don't see it. The label ID search icon. Okay, and then I wait for div ID b content to be present. Okay, this is fine. Run it.
It's type and then disappear and stuck here.
Why is it disappearing?
I will stop sharing and I will share my this one. Second.
Okay, can we meet after the
Yes.
class? I don't want other
Yes.
guys
Okay.
waiting on that. So I will again, guys, meet with you for your questions. I will send the link for you.
Okay, thank you.
Now I will stop recording.